Well, how do you think the current rotation is going to withstand the loss of Kodai Senga?
Well, we're talking about a guy who leads Major League Baseball in ERA. So this is going to be a big test to really everything the Mets rotation does so well. But for me, that's the thing, right? They do so many things so well that I think that they'll be okay here. They have these four other guys, Griffin Canning, McGill, Holmes, Peterson, and now you're going to add Blackburn back into the mix that have really done really well this season. And it's really exemplified what exactly David Stearns wanted to do when he started in the offseason of prioritizing depth this year, not going after that key number one. It's all worked out. So I think that this will be a big test for them, but it's something that they should be able to withstand because this is who the Mets are. At this point in the season, it's no longer just a nice little story that the Mets rotation is good. This is really has been their identity. I think it's going to be tested soon, though, because very soon, actually, it started Tuesday. They played, 13 games in 13 days? A lot of those games against the Phillies. So it will continue to be that big test, but I think that they should be okay here based on the results that we've seen so far this season. And also, by the way, it's not just the rotation that's thriving right now. It's everybody else. It's Pete Alonso. It's Juan Soto. It's Jeff McNeil. So you don't want to lose Kodai Senga or somebody of his caliber at any point in the season. But here, mid-June, when the team is rolling 20 games above 500, I think that they'll be okay right now in the thought process of just focusing on the immediacy here, not knowing if it's going to be a long-term issue.
Yeah, you applaud the depth, Will, like you said, that they have been able to acquire and accumulate here. But, I mean, we are talking about their best pitcher. I mean, there's no depth that sort of paves over the loss of your ace. And so that's what the Mets are facing right now. They do have the depth to sort of get through it. I mean, I actually think Paul Blackburn, who kind of gets a little short shrift in terms of, like, the public outlook on him. They go, Paul Blackburn, what's he? I thought what he did against the Dodgers in his first start this year, 5 scoreless innings, manhandled Ohtani. I mean, and that's my theme for the week there. Guys who have manhandled Ohtani, and he struck him out twice and got him and hit a ground ball to get out of an inning with a couple guys on base. So, Will, your point is well made. There are guys who can step in here. And look, we'll see what Manaea and Montas can bring too. We don't know yet. We know what the reputations are and what Manaea did last year for the Mets. But they've got to do some work to get back in it here. But the Mets are maybe better than any other team prepared to handle a hit like this, but it still stings because it's an ace.
Well, the reason I'm confident is if you have a decent reputation now and you come into this Mets rotation, it's like you turn into a star. Like Manaea and Montas, I fully expect them to come back in and be the best versions of Manaea and Montas. In Manaea's case, that's last year being the ace of this staff, so you replace an ace with an ace, and that's where I'm so confident in the Mets pitching situation right now. Like, they're dealing from such a position of depth where they're reportedly getting calls on Paul Blackburn, and all they got to do is like, hey, let's hang up the phone for a week and then pick up the phone again. They're basically saying, hold on, we have Blackburn for now to plug the gap until Manaea and Montas are back. And they have so much depth right now where you're still going to have hard decisions to make even in a Kodai Senga-less world. Yeah. You're going to have to cut a couple guys out of this rotation that deserve to be in this rotation, even without Kodai Senga here. And I'd much rather this happen right now than last year where you were dealing with the situation. Senga coming back right at the end of the season, plug and play in October. You're not going to have to do that this year. Even if Senga did miss the rest of the year, which he's not, you could have so many options, fruitful options, where game 1 through 4 would be covered in a division series. And I think the Mets are sitting pretty in that sense.
Yeah, short term, not a big deal at all. But you want to have Kodai Senga ready to go and not just taking his first start coming back in the postseason. I'd like to get him back by at least September. All right, well, Will, you mentioned it before. What are the expectations here for Montas and Manaea as they return potentially to the rotation?
Well, yeah, since this is the Mets, they're going to return as vintage Tom Seaver and Doc Gooden, right? That's probably what's going to occur here. But no, in all reality, look, they still need some rehab starts. Montas needs at least 1. David Stearns said today, maybe 2. That's been kind of a theme. So Montas will pitch tonight. We'll learn more about that, how that goes. Manaea, of course, he's a little bit behind Montas, so probably a few more starts. The first one coming up on Sunday, to be determined on where that exactly is. But both guys, I love what I saw from Manaea. I think everybody did in the second half of last year. He proved to us that he can be that frontline guy. Now he needs to demonstrate that again to feel even more confident about that this year as we head into the second half of the season when they need somebody like that to sort of anchor them. But Montas is the one that I'm a little bit more, hey, I'm not really sure what I'm getting here. He's the wild card to me. When they signed him, I wasn't too sure about it, especially the deal that he got. But again, this is the Mets where they have sort of demonstrated the idea that they are one of the premier teams when it comes to pitching development. So as soon as you start to kind of count them out with a pitching acquisition, you start to look pretty foolish. Like they prove that to you time and time again, whether it's these guys that they call up from the minor leagues or on the waiver wire to help their bullpen, or a starter like somebody like maybe Frankie Montas. So we'll see. I'm excited to see it, because to me, he's the wild card here for them.